Hello everyone and welcome to Muftawu Nabila Abdulai YouTube channel. Today I'm here once again post Ghana Football Association Executive Council meeting, and once again I'm inside Man Electrical. Please give me a phone call, give me business, give me opportunities, give me jobs, create jobs for me. My destiny helper might just be on your contact list or even on your social media pages. So please do not hesitate to get in touch with me. The number is 059 892 8440. 059 892 8440 or 059 892 8441. 059 892 8441. If you dial this number and you're on Truecaller, it would most likely identify either of the contacts as Man Electricals. So definitely you'd be getting in touch with me to support a young man who has decided to create something for himself and for his family, and to try and change his life story. I just posted on my Facebook about the impact of one of my former bosses, Linda Safora Entry, who is now the marketing manager of GoTV. I went to her and presented this trophy. Not sure many people have actually seen it. This is a trophy. The trophy, yes, this trophy. Yes, this one. After I was adjudged the Sports Journalist of the Year by the Ghana Journalists Association, I went to her and paid homage because I call her a destiny helper. She is the reason I am seated here, actually. She gave me my first newsroom experience. She gave me my first television experience. And she was massive. I had no clue about television when Linda Sanford Entry extended that phone call to me about 9 years ago in July. It was a rainy morning when she called me to ask whether I wanted to work with Viasat. Prior to that, I was writing for All Sports. I was writing for Go.com. I had the opportunity to write for Sports Crusader, which is under Primeva Media. But when Linda's phone call came through, it is the reason why I appear on television, because she made it possible for me to be on TV. She made it possible for me to understand newsroom etiquette, even the ethics of journalism. Many people actually think that I practice journalism from the Ghana Institute of Journalism. I've never sat in a journalism class, actually. The only things I've done was to study science in my secondary school. I did chemistry, biology, and physics, as well as elective maths. Then I went to do a diploma at the University of Education, Winneba, then proceeded to the University of Cape Coast to do a degree in English, and went again to the University of Cape Coast to do my master's degree program in marketing. So yeah, I've never sat in a journalism class, but journalism is what has shaped me to be here this morning. And just as I mentioned, Linda being my destiny helper, you could just also be my destiny helper by extending a message to me, by extending a phone call to me. My destiny helper might be you or someone in your contact list. It might just be that opportunity that will open thousands of doors. And maybe when I lift something like this, I'll definitely walk into your office and say, thank you for making it possible for me to actually secure that financial freedom that I've needed for years. As a 17th child of my father, the only person to have had tertiary education out of the 23 children my father gave birth to, it should give you an inkling about my background. But maybe that story would be shared another day. But today we are here to talk about GFA Executive Council meeting and its outcome. The meeting was a marathon meeting. The meeting went all the way up to almost 6:30, 7 p.m. And there were lots of things that were discussed. Otto Addo came in with his technical report. He presented to them, had a brief discussion with the Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association, and left. So Otto Addo did not stay throughout the meeting. He presented a report and he left. So the Executive Council now had to devour the technical report and discuss other matters. So in the end, I'm not saying whatever media reports you have seen out there are not true. But what I can report is that Otto Addo's future remains undecided after that marathon meeting. There are reports that he's been retained, augmenting of a technical team, and what these were reports I had published way before against Sudan, after the games against Sudan. Also, when I put out those reports. So what is emerging now, I don't know where those reports are coming from. But what I do know, from what happened at the Executive Council meeting, is that Otto Addo's future remains undecided. Prior to the meeting yesterday, the president of the Ghana Football Association, Keto Kreku, per sources, had consultative meetings or discussions with people, including members of the Executive Council, including some former leaders of the Ghana Football Association, before he went into that meeting on Wednesday, November 27. The meeting was supposed to start at 11 a.m., but I was made to understand that it started around noon or so. So in the discussions, the Executive Council was still divided. There were those who still insist, and if you go back to my previous video, you would see it. There were those who still insist that Otto must go. There are those who also insist that Otto should be maintained. The consultative meetings that Keto Kreku had before coming to this meeting had all towards in favor of Otto Addo staying. But as always, I would only report that Otto Addo would stay if I have it factually from people who were present at the meeting. And in fact, I was told some people did not even stay throughout the meeting. Some people left in the course of the meeting. So if they couldn't even have the numbers to actually vote on who, to have the highest numbers for Otto Addo to either stay or go. So in the end, the conclusion was that they will engage further, including engaging the politicians, especially those who pay him. They will engage people or other stakeholders within the football ecosystem before taking a decision on the future of Otto Addo. That is what I can report. If someone says he's been retained, well, the consultative meetings that they had before yesterday's meeting was in favor of Otto Addo staying, but there were also people who didn't want him to stay. And that EXCO meeting that happened yesterday clearly did not reach a conclusion on keeping Otto Addo or letting him go. So that's what I can report. I still have people reach out to me about, what about the resignation of Mr. A, B, or C? Trust me, no one in there is going to resign. I recall in their last meeting, and in fact, in my last video, I didn't mention it here. In their last meeting, when they were discussing whether they should sack Otto Addo and what, an EXCO member I was made to understand said that, but people within the football industry or the stakeholders within football, or should I say, football fans say we should resign. So if you are sacking Otto Addo, then we should all go. You see, I don't know if that was on the lighter side or the person was serious when the person made that comment at that Executive Council meeting. But clearly, this is where we are. Otto Addo's future remains undecided. As and when something changes, hopefully, I'll have the intel again and I'll be here to report. I was also told that the FA would release a statement from that meeting. I don't know when that statement is expected to come out, but it is not ready yet. I don't know, or I don't have details of what Otto Addo presented in his technical report to the Ghana FA. I do not have it. So I'll not come and sit here and say, oh, Otto Addo said this in his technical report, or he said that in his technical report. I don't have it. When I do, I'll report. History has suggested that over the years, in the last 9 years or so, whatever I say, I'm not saying I'm always 100% successful. But there's always 99.9% success in the stories I get, especially from the Ghana Football Association, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the National Sports Authority, and Ghana Athletics. The other federations, I do not have so much sources. In fact, including the clubs, In fact, I think my strongest sources actually began from Kotoko and House of Oak and grew up to this stage. So yeah, clearly, that's what I can report. I do not have anything more beyond what I gathered happened at the Executive Council meeting. As and when I gather anything, I'll definitely share them here. I am Muftawu Nabila Abdulai, and this is Muftawu Nabila Abdulai YouTube channel. Again, my destiny helper could be you. My destiny helper could be in your contact list. Or my destiny helper could just be on your social media platform. So, reach out to me, Man Electricals, and give me business. Thank you very much for watching. A pleasure to have come your way with this edition of Muftawu Nabila Abdulai Intels. I used to call it Nabila Show. Maybe I'll just have to keep the Nabila Show. Muftawu Nabila Abdulai Intel, or the Nabila Show, here on Muftawu Nabila Abdulai YouTube channel. Thank you very much for your company.